today, as you can see, we're not in the usual setup. We're actually in my living room, which is where all of our bookshelves are in this house, because today I'm giving you guys a little tour of my collection of art books. It's been quite requested over the past few months, since I do sometimes in my studio vlogs showcase some of the art books that I keep buying compulsively. So today I thought I'd just show you guys a little bit of my collection so far. So this is technically my side of this particular bookshelf, and then all my art books are actually down here in this little shelf. So I'm just gonna go through them as they're on the shelf and we'll talk about them. So this one that I have here, it's not actually an art book, it is more of a graphic novel, but I thought I'd include graphic novels as well. And it's actually the Sweeney graphic novel, Eat and Love Yourself, and I read this in just the day that I got it because it's so gorgeous. I'll give you guys just a little preview of what's inside them. Yeah, I really recommend this graphic novel. It's quite short and sweet, but it's so beautiful and so beautifully illustrated. And the lighting and everything in it is so gorgeous. And I'm a big fan of Sweeney, so this was obviously a must for me. Sweeney Eat and Love Yourself is very lovely. Next up on my shelf, I have this really gorgeous art book that I actually was looking for a while. I think I finally purchased it in Brussels. And it is Mateusz, I'm so sorry if I'm gonna absolutely butcher this name, but Mateusz Urbanowicz, who is an amazing watercolor artist that I have been following for years now. The artworks of Mateusz Urbanowicz #2, Tokyo at Night. So it's this beautiful art book. It's got a little sleeve on it, but yeah, so he does a lot of watercolor landscape-ish paintings of Tokyo streets, and yeah, they're all so gorgeous. He has an amazing Instagram if you guys are interested in seeing his work. But yeah, so he has this sort of step-by-step of how he does his artworks, what materials he recommends, tips and tricks that he's picked up along the way, and of course just a big, selection of his most recent works. It's all in Japanese, so I've never actually read through it because I don't understand it, but it's very pretty to look at. And one day if I do feel like reading it, I'll have to get up a translation app. Next up, we have this Myths and Legends, an illustrated guide to their origins and meanings by Philip Wilkinson. I've had this one for a while now, and I call it an art book. It's more of a non-fiction sort of book about the art of myths and legends, but it's an illustrated guide essentially. But I bought it because I really wanted to have a visual guide of how to draw a lot of these myths and legends and creatures from different cultures, and I thought it was a really cool book. It kind of just looks like, a textbook essentially. Yeah, it's got just really beautiful pages just explaining the whole background of a lot of mythical creatures and what they represent and how they've been represented in different paintings along the history of art or whatever, and how they've been depicted over the years. Yeah, it's just very interesting. If you're someone who is interested in myths, legends, and stuff like that, this one's pretty interesting. Next up, this is probably one of the first actual art books that I purchased when I started doing animation in uni, and it is the Steven Universe Art and Origins art book. This one is obviously such a must for any young animator. It's so gorgeous. If you've never seen Steven Universe, you're missing out. Go watch it right now. Go do it. Yeah, basically it is the entire process of how they created Steven Universe, all the behind the scenes of how they came up with the character designs. They got character drawing guides, little sketches of the process of designing the characters. And the backgrounds especially are the most beautiful parts. I just really love the sketch parts and the background design, because that's my favorite thing about this show is the backgrounds and stuff. So yeah, it's just really pretty. Obviously gorgeous to look at, and I find it really fascinating to see the developmental stages of animated shows and movies that I love. It's just so inspiring, and it's really lovely to see, the changes that they made, why they did those changes, and Obviously they have like storyboarding bits, the Steven Universe, Art and Origins. So the next two are actually books that I bought for my animation course at university because they were recommended reading essentially. So the first one is Sketching for Animation by Peter Parr, and it says it's the developing ideas, characters, and layouts in your sketchbook. It goes through, you know, like human figure, animal figure, and how to basically elevate your sketching to kind of create shorthands for animation and, you know, tips and tricks as well. It teaches you about perspective and body language, character design, scaling, and stuff like that. So it's a hefty boy as well. It's quite heavy. Sketching for Animation. It's pretty good. Then the next animation book that I have is probably my chunkiest book that I have, and it is the Animator Survival Kit. Now, if you're an animator, you've probably got this. This is actually the expanded edition. So, by Richard Williams, director of animation who framed Roger Rabbit. So, a trusted source. But yeah, it is pretty much like the Bible of animation is what our tutors used to call it. It's got everything you need to know to, like, as a small beginning animator, a full course of animation. And it goes through, you know, timing, frames per second. It's got everything. It's got all the principles of animation in it, walk cycles. So yeah, it's very heavy and very chunky, but it is incredibly detailed and in-depth. If you're interested in animation, this is a good book to have from what I heard. The next book that I'm going to show you is most definitely my favorite one of my entire collection at the moment. It's also probably the most recent one that I bought, and it is none other than the complete illustration book of Haikyuu, the anime and manga, and it is my baby, one of my most prized possessions at the moment. Yeah, it's got, you know, Kageyama in the back and Hinata at the front, and it is basically, as it says, just a compilation of artworks from over the years made by, you know, the art team, concept art, sketches made by the actual animators and the design teams, official art that some of them had been released, some of them hadn't, and it's just so gorgeous. It's got like little Halloween themed ones as well, which are super cute, and it's in chronological order as well in terms of like the chronology of the show, so it just gets sadder and sadder essentially when you see them growing up throughout the illustrations. It's just really cute because they have different styles because they're made from different artists, and I care a lot about this book. It's a little bit expensive because I think you can only get them through like secondhand sellers now. I got it on eBay, I'm pretty sure. Next up, I have my actual art book from Sweeney Boo. It was sort of a limited edition one that she did last autumn. It's called The Tales of Autumn by Sweeney Boo. It's very pretty and shiny and beveled on the front. This is what the back looks like. Yeah, and it's a compilation of works from the last few years of hers. And yeah, she only did 200 copies of these, and I got copy number 93. It's got some really beautiful artworks in here. As I said, I'm a big fan of hers, and I'm really happy that I got this book. It's got some cute unreleased sketches, some Inktober stuff. I actually met Sweeney Boo at Thought Bubble a few years back. It's an art convention here in the UK, and it was just really lovely talking to her, so it's really nice owning some of her stuff as well. The next art book that I have is from another artist that you probably will have heard of. It's The Art of Heikala, Works and Thoughts. I'm sure a lot of people have this book. It's so gorgeous, and it's been out for a few years now, so I only just recently got it. And if you guys don't know Heikala, obviously everyone that I'm mentioning in today's video is going to be down there in the description if you want to check them out. But yeah, she's just a very amazing artist, signed by her as well, which is very exciting. But yeah, again, it's just a art book, a compilation of a lot of her works, her thoughts about each piece, her process for some of them. It takes you through like a step-by-step of a lot of these paintings that we've all seen on the grids. It has like a whole section in the middle of just a bunch of sketches of hers. Yeah, it's really beautifully put together as well, so I really recommend this. I own a lot of prints of hers and stuff from her shop that I've ordered before. So it was really cool like going through the book and seeing those artworks that I bought prints of and like see how she made them. I really, really like this book, and I'm sure you will too. Finally, from this shelf, the last one from this bottom shelf here, is another movie art book, which I think I got myself for Christmas 2 years ago. And it is the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie art book. Obviously, I had to get this. It was such an amazing movie. You know, obviously it won a bunch of Oscars and stuff. It had the most gorgeous art style, and I obviously had to get the book because I wanted to know how they did it. Same jazz, it just goes through, you know, the process of how they made all the backgrounds, all the designs, how they actually went about animating 3D characters and then animating on top of them with all the cool textures and styles that they used to mimic comic book textures. It is very cool and very interesting as well, because from what I understand, Sony did, you know, some very interesting mixtures of different animation techniques to create the look and the feel that it has. So it's very interesting to read through how they made that. It's very beautiful. It shows you like all the design that went into making the backgrounds, color stories, and yeah, I again really recommend it. It's another movie that I really, really love and look up to, so very lovely book. So now I'm gonna head on to some of the books that I have over here at the top. I have a lot of, you know, bits and bobs of art books that I've gotten over the years of like human figure. I obviously have to mention this one. I've mentioned this book on the channel so much over the past few years, and a lot of you have actually bought it and tagged me on Instagram saying that you found it really useful, which is awesome. It's called Palette Perfect by Lauren Wager, and it is basically a book just filled with color palettes and color combinations. As you can see on the spine, they're all like separated by theme or mood. So they've got, you know, delicate, playful, mysterious, romantic, and it's just a whole selection of color palettes, and each palette gives you the RGB and CMYK values for each color so that you can input them in whatever software you're using to draw. I really just enjoy picking out a random color palette from this book and drawing something with it, and I highly recommend it. It's gotten a lot of use in this house. Next up, I've got these two books. They actually come in a set of, I think, up to 5 or 6. They're from the Morpho Anatomie Artistique collection. I got these two in France when I was in Annecy for an animation festival, so they're unfortunately in French. I can read them, you know, I can understand them, but essentially they don't have that many words. Yeah, it's just like a collection of anatomy sketches and, you know, things to try and sketch to improve your anatomy drawings. This one in particular is the skeleton and different bones. So let me know if that's what I said. I don't know if I said that right. Any French-speaking people out there? So I think this one is specifically about skeletons and the bones of the human body. And then I have this other one, which is synthetic forms, synthetic poses. I guess this one's about, you know, posing parts of the body together. Again, it's just very helpful, and it gives you a lot of different reference shots to learn more and more about human figure. So I really like these. I like nice and compact, and I just enjoy having them on hand when I haven't drawn for a while. They just come in handy, really. The next book I have to show you is the Freehand Figure Drawing for Illustrators, Mastering the Art of Drawing from Memory by David H. Ross. This is another book that I really, really recommend. I've bookmarked a bunch of the pages for, you know, poses that I might want to use in future. It just gives you all the basics about drawing the human figure in terms of, you know, movement, perspective, how to break down the different parts of the body so that you can pose your own characters in the future in whatever poses you'd like. So yeah, it just teaches you everything from start to finish, kind of breaks it all down really easily. It's just really, really helpful, and I actually learn a lot from reading this book, and I use a lot of these techniques when I do human figure drawing in my day-to-day. So yeah, I highly recommend this one right here, especially if you are trying to, you know, improve your human figure drawing. The next 3 books are also all from sort of the same set or publisher or series, I guess. I've got volume 1, 3, and 5. It's the series Poses for Artists, and I find these very helpful as well because what they are is just a compilation of hundreds and hundreds of poses that you can kind of use as reference. And I have the Dynamic and Sitting Poses, which is volume 1, volume 3, Fighting and Various Poses, so more action shot-y poses, and you can kind of just use all of these for reference. And then I've got volume 5, Hands, Skulls, Pinups, and Various Poses. So this one has more specific poses to do with, you know, skulls, hands, and feet. Yeah, I know they have a lot more of these in the series, so I do really want to get some more of these because they're very helpful. Oh, and I forgot to mention they're all by Justin Martin. I think these are very helpful as well if you are someone who's still trying to, you know, get better at anatomy and figure drawing and posing your characters. These are quite helpful. And lastly, I'm just going to be showing you the last kind of, you know, smaller bit and bobs kind of books that I have from various different artists. This one I've had for quite a few years now. It's called Habitat by the Big Brown Eyes Collective. I got it like at an art fair or an art convention a few years back, and yeah, it's just a collection of really beautiful artworks by various different artists, and it's very cute. I'll leave the links again down there in the description so you can check out everyone. Then I have this little art book, a little zine sort of book by James Chapman, who is a really cool Posca artist, and also he used to work at Brown Bags Films, which is an animation studio that I really like. He's very, very lovely. I've met him a few times, and this is just again another compilation of a lot of his Posca artworks. He does a lot of Posca studies of films that he likes. Yeah, this one's called the Poscas, like Oscars. I think this next one is actually the first ever zine I ever bought off of an artist that I followed, and it is one of the Tricky Wagon Equinox Zine from 2018. It's really, really thin and tiny compared to the zines that she keeps putting out these days. But yeah, I really treasure it because it's one of the first art zines and art books that I ever got from anyone. And it was very, very inspiring for me to start my own online shop and, you know, start making my own versions of these. And next up is an art book by Cade Art, and it is the Hawks unofficial art book called Bird of Prey. So this is a character from My Hero Academia, and Cade Art is a really amazing, talented artist that I actually support on Patreon, and they just make really amazing artworks, and they're all sort of about My Hero Academia most of the time. And this is again just a compilation of most of their amazing artworks, all surrounding Hawks, of course. I obviously love Hawks, so had to get this book. Up next, I have another zine slash art book that I got from Tricky Wagon from 2018. It's the 2018 Sketches compilation book. It is a lot thicker. It's kind of like a little compact size. I do love this size of book. Just got like a compilation of all the sketches and stuff that she did over the period of time of 2018. And she does these sort of yearly now, and I think I have bought the past 2 years ones. I have to find where I've put them actually. These are very lovely. I find them incredibly inspiring, just going through all of these sketches, and she's really, really amazing at human anatomy as well, so I always find her dynamic poses really inspiring. Lastly, in my little zines slash art book collections, I have this little Mythic Zine from a friend of mine called Zahed Grencha. He's from back home in Portugal. He's an amazing graphic designer, illustrator, and also video editor, and this is actually a little zine he did for his 2018 Inktober collection. And yes, you should really check him out. He's got really cool art as well. So the last two books that I wanted to show you are actually like little graphic novels, but they're very, very gorgeous, and I wanted to show them as well. So firstly, we have this one, which is the Cautionary Fables and Fairy Tales Europe edition. This collective, or this printer company, has like 7 or 8 different versions of these, and they have, you know, like the Asia edition, North America edition, South America edition, etc., etc. So I got the Europe edition, and it's just a compilation of different fables and cautionary tales, all illustrated by different artists, and it's very, very gorgeous. It has beautiful stories in them, some of which I knew about, most of them which I didn't. I'll obviously leave the link down there so you guys can, you know, maybe check it out if you want. But yeah, I really enjoy, again, mythical stories and, you know, fables and fairy tales, so obviously this one I had to get. Their table, I actually got this at Thought Bubble a few years back, and their table, the publisher that was selling this were just like in front of mine and Devon's, so I was eyeing it like all weekend, just kind of like, I want to buy it, I want to buy it. And then at the end of the weekend I did buy it. So finally we have this book from the Sad Ghost Club. If you guys don't know about the Sad Ghost Club, you really need to follow them on Instagram. They're so cool and cute. And this is the Sad Ghost Club Find Your Kindred Spirits by Lise Meddings. And again, just a beautiful graphic novel and a compilation of comics about this little ghost, you know, who's in the Sad Ghost Club. I just really enjoy everything that they make. It's very, you know, about like mental health and stuff like that, and just kind of talks about it in a sort of beautiful, cute way. Just to show you guys the different versions that the Cautionary Fables and Fairy Tales ones have. Devon actually bought the Asia edition, so this is what the Asia edition cover looks like. But yeah, they have really cute covers, and they're all made by different artists, and they're very lovely. I obviously have a copy of my art book in here just because why not? So I'm gonna do a little shameless self-plug here. So this is my art book. If you guys want to purchase one of these, it's available on my online shop. I obviously keep one in here because I think it's very self-fulfilling to have my own art book around all these other art books of people that I look up to. Hey guys, Editing Piper here. I just found some honorable mentions that didn't make it into the video, unfortunately, because they were on my nightstand. So I just wanted to hop in real quick and show you guys these extra ones. So I actually bought this one pretty recently, and it is the My Hero Academia fanzine made by Zoe P. or Zoep illustration. They're awesome. I follow them on Instagram, and it's just a little fanzine of like a bunch of comics and stuff like that with all of My Hero Academia characters. And then this is the Sketches 2020 book that I mentioned that I also have from Tricky Wagon, and it's also very, very lovely, amazingly curated and put together. I just really like it, and I wanted to show you guys just how beautiful it is. And I'm very excited to get to the 2021 one as well. I just wanted to hop in and show you guys these two as well. Back to the video. That's pretty much it for today's video. As I said, all the names and links to everything that I mentioned in this video are going to be down there in the description box below. So do check out all of these artists if you can. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!